The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Welcome to the Great Debaters Contest. We are coming to you from the heart of Uasin Gishu County, Eldoret Town. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Today we have Cheptil Secondary versus St. Mary's Girls Tach Asis. Their motion is a cashless economy is a threat to economic development. Who will be the victor, Mariam?
We'll find out in just a moment. First proposer, you have 3 minutes to wow us.
With vigor and vitality, standing before you, ladies and gentlemen, His High Victorine Chepkoge from St. Mary's Girls Tach Asis, taking heart to support today's motion. Cashless economy is a threat to economic development. Without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to go to my first point. Okay. Cashless. This is dealing with money indirectly, e.g. use of ATMs and M-Pesa. Cashless economy. It is a situation where there is little or very low cash flow in a given society. Thus, every purchases and transactions will be made by electronic funds transfer, mobile payments, multifunctionals, ATMs, and internet. My first point. The using of the cashless economy is limited to some sectors of economy, since it cannot be assessed by whole and random. Second point, it discourages small-scale economy since it relies heavily on cash. Giving an example is the mama mbogas. We cannot use the cashless economy. It will not favor the mama mbogas outside there, or the small-scale traders like the hawkers. It has no privacy. Since your details can be assessed, ladies and gentlemen, we all love privacy. We don't like our details being exposed. It is insecure. E.g., the cyber crimes. The rate of cyber crimes is making this cashless economy a threat. And because time is of essence, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to leave the stage. Thank you.
Opposition will hear your opening statements. You have 3 minutes.
Standing in front of you from Cheptil High School is I, Andrew Chanzu, opposing the motion which says that cashless economy is a threat to the economic development. First, starting by defining the term economy. What is economy? Economy is the growth, the compulsion, the growth of a state which improves the social and the infrastructures of a given state. Secondly, stepping on the case of cashless economy. Cashless, when I mean cashless, this is whereby we don't use money while doing our daily activities. Let's say like shopping. Things like shopping, we don't use money. Now returning to my points. Point number 1. It promotes security. Why? When you look at this sector of using these credit cards, for example, the ATM, when a person goes with an ATM card in a bank, he or she has a PIN which he can use to access his account and get the money that he wants. Sticking on security, it also assists the consumers. As a benefit to consumers, it gives the consumers a chance to invest. Let's say, for example, you are a consumer. A person come and stole your money. you may not have invested in anyhowly. By this case of investment, it also allows the government to acquire taxes, in which these taxes will improve the infrastructures of the economy. Second point, reduction of some costs in the economy. The cost of printing and transporting money is very high. Let's take for example, these materials we use to make money are not from Kenya. We import them in the outer countries. So by completing, I support my motion by saying that it's better for us to fall on the side of the cashless economy. Thank you.
We'll now hear rebuttals, beginning with the proposers. You have 3 minutes.
It is difficult, if not impossible, to predict how a cashless system would work on a large scale. My name is Caroline Cheptil from St. Mary's Girls, going to propose the motion. On my opposing side, he said that it is secure. What of the point of hawkers? We have workers. We have those who work day and night looking for a way to exploit what has been there. An example is, you understand that using careless, the cashless means we have to use electronics. We have to use computers. One can trespass and get all those cash that is there and take it over. Ladies and gentlemen, let's remember those who are illiterate back in the rural areas, remote areas, where there's no electricity. We are going to introduce them. Is it going to favor them? Is it going to favor those who are in rural, those who are not educated, those who don't have social amenities? Is it going? Look at Kenya as an example. Most of us are below the poverty line. We want to introduce electronics. How is it going to work? Most of us are poor. As we say that poverty is still there, and we're still below the poverty line. It means that most of us are not going to get access to the cashless means. The ATMs, we have the M-Pesa. You have to pay charges for it. You have to pay charges for it. I can't afford it. Look at Mama Mboga. How do you expect that person to use an ATM card? How? You don't expect me to go to a shop with an ATM card? A kiosk there in the rural areas? You will not expect me to do that. Another thing, let's go to risk factors about the cashless means. Have you ever thought, or just think about this? If your phone dies now, are you going to transact any cash from it? Are you going to do it? Your phone is already dead. And again, it is very easy to shut down a digital wallet remotely. And this will expose your access, will expose your details and information that are there. I thank you for that time.
Opposition will hear your counter argument. You have 3 minutes as well.
I stand here to oppose the motion that says a cashless economy is a threat to economic development. I am Cheriat Macy Cheptil High School. I first want to answer the question, or rather give an answer to the question that my opponent has given out, that it leads to a less of privacy to those people who use the ATM cards and such as cashless cashless economy facts. This is when, as you see the normal states of the country, most people use their Facebook pages before they give out, before all what they post in their Facebook pages is what, before they post it, it is already known who the person is. So I don't see the reason as to why you say it leads to a loss of privacy of a certain individual. And yes, as you log into your Facebook, you've already given out the details about yourself. And also, I want to answer the question about the opponents. About the small-scale retailers, now they use the cashless state. This happens before they advertise about the usage of cashless to the economy. All the citizens in our country are already informed about what the use of a cashless document is. So I don't see the reason as to why we all cry and say that the small-scale retailers has to be given another chance, or rather another advantage. I also want to state the disadvantages of using a cashless economy. Remember that when somebody does not use these items, it will lead to a high rate of hacking and fraud of accounts. If somebody decides to use all his documents and state it to the public, we are able to assess it, bringing a great trouble to the owner of the individual of the document. Rather, I also want to state that I see that if we use the cashless method, it will improve our economy as a country, and also it will improve our economic development. This I'll state by rather explaining that it will lead to growth of real sectors of economy. Various public institutions will arise and make its personal confidence and economic situation. Thank you.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Thank you, audience, for your questions. The proposition have been asked why they disqualified a cashless system based on the use of credit cards, where there are other forms of cashless payments such as M-Pesa that could also be used. And the opposition have been asked how cashless economies will help deal with issues of power, infrastructure, and literacy levels. We'll have them respond. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
Courageously standing before you is Phoebe Tenai from St. Mary's Girls, Tach Asis. Just to answer the questions that have been asked, from the question that I got, that how can people not use cashless money as hawkers because they have M-Pesa. Let me tell you, my dear friends, when you're a hawker or the mama mbogas, it's not necessarily that all of them have got phones. Not forgetting that in Kenya, we are still a developing country, as you all know. We are in the third world rate of the society. In our economy, not all of our markets have got an M-Pesa agent. So you cannot tell me that a place like Wajir or Lotok of those places in the northeastern have got all the markets, all the markets have got an access to the M-Pesa agent. So you cannot advise me very well, courageously, that all those people can access the M-Pesa. Besides, in our very growing society, many of us are illiterate. Look at look at the education system. We have school dropouts. Besides the school dropouts, there are those people who totally never went to school due to lack of fees and other economic and other social problems. When you look at an economy like Somalia, not only basing on Kenya, a place like Somalia, people don't go to school simply because of other issues that may affect them. You can't tell me that a person who has undergone many problems in the society that affected the society so much that a person could not even afford that phone can get the literacy to use the phone and get the M-Pesa services. Not forgetting that the ATM card, for you to use an ATM card, you must be literate. You cannot go to the M-Pesa, to the ATM machine and start using when you don't know what you're doing there. When you are not a literate person, how can you go and enter your PIN and all your details when you don't know anything about it? Think of a person who is blind, the disabled in the economy. These people cannot really use these facilities from the cashless financial system, simply because someone like a blind person using a service like, for example, the ATM. They have helpers, yes, I don't deny. But from the helpers, they can take advantage of the blind. You know the PIN of the person. The person has got, for example, 10 million shillings in the bank. Will you not be, due to greed that we all have, I know that you're also greedy in one way or another. You might be greedy to eat meat or something else. One month's meat is another's poison. So when you are you are greedy in the side of money, I might be greedy on something else. And these people can be tempted to steal the money from the blind. This is very, very discouraging to our people. You cannot really encourage me to take myself and encourage those disabled people to use the electronic system of financial. Thank you so much.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to give a response to the audience.
My name's Doreen Musyoki, and I would like to answer the question that was posed by my colleague about how will cashless economy help the power infrastructure and literally levels. First of all, I will dwell on infrastructure. Once you make a transaction using the credit cards or the debit cards, there's something that is called the transaction fee. As much as the bank acquires the transaction fee, there's the percentage that the government gets. Definitely the percentage that the government gets will be used to improve the infrastructure. Infrastructure is like roads and the schools and the hospitals, name them. There are lots. There is no way that you can limit the infrastructure, and this infrastructure is caused by the transaction fee that you use with your credit card and debit card. The literacy levels, definitely a person who can be able to handle an ATM card, you cannot say that that person is illiterate. That person is very literate, on the contrary. I beg to differ with that. And one of my colleagues touched on something about privacy. You said something about the credit cards, it's master something about privacy and so forth and so on. Well, how about, I find this rather humorous. Someone wakes up and when I open my Facebook account in the morning, I see someone has posted #@Limuru, a beautiful morning. That's already in violation of privacy. Who is that violating your privacy? It's you individually. And then you find the audacity to talk about privacy when it comes to credit cards? I find that rather humorous. Now, there's someone who talked about poverty. For instance, I have a brother of mine in town. And let's say from the transport from here to town is around 200. 2-4, that's around 400. So would you prefer to take a matatu to town and back only because you want to give your brother the cash, because you don't want the cashless economy? Now you use approximately 400, or you'll rather sit down, relaxing in your sofa, and transact using an M-Pesa, which it only deducts around 12 shillings when it comes to around 200 shillings. So please, I would urge that you adapt the cashless economy. In conjunction, I would like to quote one of the guys that I usually admire, Andy Lowe, who stated that, unless you are prepared to give something valuable, you will never be able to truly change at all, because you'll forever be in control of the things you cannot give up. In conjunction, Soren Kierkegaard once mentioned that life must be understood backwards, but lived forward. Thank you.
Final submissions now. Proposition, you have 1 minute.
Once again, Phoebe Tenai, proposes the motion. Simply because last year in our nation, Kenya, there was that, the government tried to implement or to come up with an issue whereby we could pay our bus fares using the electronic financial system, which could not make. Tell me why. Do you know the reason why? I think you should sit back and think wise, my fellow Kenyans, because when we change to the changing economy, yes, we are trying to be industrialized and to be digital, but you cannot change who you are. You will remain to be who you are, the real Kenyan that you are, and the real African that you are. Don't be like the Westerners. They know what they are doing, and we know what we are doing. The way you are, appreciate yourself. Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute.
Once again, Musyoki Doreen. You're talking about we cannot change who we are. You know, life is a very funny phenomena. You either change or it changes you. There's no way you can remain unchanged. If you're focusing on eradicating the Kenyan perspective of being the third world country, we cannot just sit back, relax, and say like, I'm just going to sit because I cannot change who I am. Change is in the mind. It's in the mental capability. When I say I want to wake up for morning preps, it's I personally, I'm the one inflicting the change. So I stand before you this day, urging all of you fellow Kenyans, please, let's change and adapt the cashless economy. When you focus on the likes of USA where we are heading, or the likes of Nigeria where we want to head, they are adapting the cashless economy. So if you don't adapt the cashless economy and just sit relaxed all in the name of I'm not changing, well, please think twice. Think like you own it. Thank you.
Most important, research, please, and ensure that when you are talking from an informed point of view. There's a lot of focus on Mama Mboga and the hawkers, and I wonder, what is the whole debate about Mama Mboga and the hawkers? I think they have mobile handsets. When you talk about illiteracy level in the country, I want to understand how many people are illiterate, what percentage of Kenyan population own mobile handsets. You know, all these questions are not answered because of lack of research. The motion was not well understood. It was poorly executed.
To both the teams, this being a start, we expect that you will take the advice given to another level. A cashless economy is not just based on, money transfer. We have money savings account like M-Shwari. We didn't hear such mentions, and we were worried about that. Talking about as a threat, it does not mean that it has really, affected the economic development as a threat, and try show us how it can be a threat.
I think it's important for debaters to know what we look at when we are judging the debates. Style and presentation, and just ask yourselves, how well do you think you did in that? Mastery of language, and that's the language of debate. So if you haven't mastered the language, it doesn't matter what you're saying. Your audience will switch off. Passion and conviction. Some of you scored highly in passion and conviction, but you had no mastery of topic. You didn't understand what the debate was about, and your coherency of argument was lacking.
St. Mary's Girls Tach Asis and Cheptil High School, High School, have tied at 56%. Please give them a round of applause.
Bravo to both teams for that wonderful debate, although it ended in a stalemate. We hope to see them in the future. Thank you for taking time to watch us, both here and at home. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyumbok. Thank you for watching.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.